Rob, I hit the button. I hope everything works. I hit the button.
Yeah, I sure hope people can hear us.
Oh, I see all the things that they're bouncing. I see. I'm bouncing. You're bouncing. You know, we're just
Everything should be bouncing. All right, we got someone saying they can hear us. Well, they're also saying Patrick seems a little quiet.
I'm quiet.
Say you're quiet.
Well, hello. Both mics sound a little weird. I'm way low. That's not what OBS tells me. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's crank. We can crank myself up. How's about this? Okay, I'm coming up.
Yeah.
I'm coming up.
Like that.
I'm getting louder now. We'll hope we'll sound in better. So I appreciate everyone's patience as we as I crank these final knobs. All right, let's see. I can bring Rob up as well. Oh, it's a good volume now. Okay, people like it. All right, so then I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to click this. All right, Rob, you talk?
Yeah, here I am, hanging out. About to wash some stuff.
This is Rob. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what the chat says. Rob, we come in to this stream with breaking news.
Yo.
Dear Mr. Klopik, thank you for being a member of the season ticket priority list. Your up-to-date priority list ranking is listed below and can be accessed year-round through your personalized account at chicagobears.com/STH. Your current ranking is... Now, here's some context, and I'll let you guess.
Mm-hmm.
When I submitted this, which was just after Chicago Bears announced that they were going to build in Arlington Heights, Illinois, that was 4 years ago. They have made very little progress on that front. My ranking was 6,705, which means there were 6,704 people in front of me before I would have the right to purchase more tickets, because the way it works that for many sports franchises is when you become a season ticket holder, you have to pay a payment to then pay more for the tickets themselves. So I started at 6,705. 4 years later, where do you think I've moved on these rankings?
6,000. You have to like 1,200.
Oof. 5,507.
What?
I have moved roughly 1,200 slots over the course of the last 4 years. As I wait to see if I I remember usually season ticket lists are something that's like a generational wait. Like you're waiting decades to sort of move yourself.
Yeah, but I was hoping people would just give up. But I guess it's a new era. People aren't going to give up.
Well, I think
Bears are good again.
I think they're going to give up when they get the proposed ticket prices for the new stadium. Rob, is I think what's actually going to happen. That's secretly what I think is going to happen. Is my opportunity is when the Chicago Bears price in line with everyone else who builds a new stadium and prices everyone out, and then I have to make. Yes, Gundado, think about the potential to flip those tickets. Yes, that is kind of what you do with half the tickets to make the math work, is that you sell. The way it's been told to me by anyone that owns season tickets for the Chicago Bears is you just don't go see them play the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, every other game you can go to, and it all gets paid for. And yet, one of my good friends, his dad, season ticket holder for many decades, I went to the Rams game, the playoff game, and I asked him, like, what could you have sold the Packers tickets for? And he said, I didn't look it up. Because how cool was it for you to watch that win at home? And I was like, it was pretty cool. He's like, how cool do you think it was for me to watch that win here? And I'm like, probably cool. He's like, yeah, wasn't worth it was worth holding on to those tickets. I'm like, yeah, eventually you probably got to make that calculation. We're back. Okay. All right. We're power washing. There's a new Rob, since we last did this, there's a new power wash game.
Yeah.
We're not playing it.
But no, we gotta like I gotta see more of how the story played out.
Do you remember?
By Jiminy, I used to race this beast all over. It's got a grunt like an angry rhino. Heck, I won the 1989 Race of Champions in it. Let me pull up. When you pull up your tablet, Patrick, and you hit escape, do you see the job overview? Can you read can you look at the job?
No, I can just see. Oh, hold on. Job details. No. Oh, wait. Overview. Yes. Yeah, okay, people can see here. Hello, Doc. Hope you're as good as cars as you are with houses, because I got my old wagon out of the garage, and it's dirtier than a Dung Beetle's Christmas list. Still turns over fine, but I'm not taking Dolores out for a spin till it's as gleaming as she is. Thanks, Leonard.
Yeah, so we got to bring this. We got to restore this thing to glory. Ooh, still dirty. Still dirty. If you hit tab, you can see the dirt.
Hold on, I got to remember. Okay, so the scroll wheel changes. And then E changes.
Yeah, and then if you hold 2,
I need the better
you choose
washer.
your
I've been
nozzles.
using the
Yeah.
I've been using the bad washer.
Do you use a metal cleaner on a car like this? I mean, it is metal probably, but oh wait, hang on. Okay, okay. Patrick, I'm gonna hit this thing with soap.
Oh, you bought soap. I want to say that's one of the things that happened last time was you went on an accessory binge.
Yeah. Yes, because I think it's useful. I think it's good, actually.
Probably.
Oh, look at that. Well, that didn't do as much as I hoped. being entirely honest with you here.
I feel like that's what you learned last time was.
No,
I thought
you know what? Hang on. I'll bet. You know what? Hang on. Where's the shop? Where's the shop? I'll bet there's better fluids that I can put in. Multi-purpose cleaner. Oh shit, there's glass surface cleaner too. Yeah, I'm gonna put the metal cleaner in here. Yeah. All right. Metal cleaner, here we go.
I think we need metal cleaner. Are you able to even? Some of this isn't washing off.
Well, yeah. Now we're gonna see how the metal cleaner does here on the back end. All right, we're out of metal cleaner. Okay. And that didn't seem to totally. Maybe I think there's an argument to be made it worked. You were saying in the first Power Washer game, because now the meta shifted with the second.
Of course,
soap is always a scam, but I don't believe they would do that. This is so I'm working through something here, Patrick.
Yeah.
Which is we bought a Power Washer.
Okay.
We bought a Ryobi Power Washer.
So does that mean you've also that? I mean, I don't want to and this is more like a setup for the conversation we'll have tomorrow when we record HOA. But did you get Ryobi's power?
On.
What?
The Power Washer. We tried so many different outlets. It would spin up, and then it would just die. And at first, I thought it was like tripping breakers in the outlets. But we tried every outlet around the exterior and some interior outlets. Nothing. No dice. And so I was all poised to do some power washing this weekend, and nothing worked for me. So now I'm just doing it in the game.
Wait, is it possible that you bought a nice enough power wash that actually all your outlets don't output enough power for it to function?
No, so I could believe that like some of the wiring here is old and that it was maybe causing some of the outlets to like fail or throw the breaker. But we should have had sufficient amperage. We should have had enough current to get this thing going. It would spin up for a second. The furthest we got is you'd hear it run for a few seconds, and then it would just die.
Well, so what I'm saying is, again, I'm not familiar with this one in particular, but, and this is a slightly different situation, but when I bought our electric car, I did not have I didn't have a charger installed in the garage yet. We brought it home, and I was like, well, I'll deal with that later. I don't, that assumes we buy the car and we like the car, and then I'll go down the road of spending extra money to, charge it properly and faster. But like, it comes with something that you can just put. It says just put it into an outlet. I was like, I got outlets in the garage.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them. None of them work. I mean, they work, but not for these purposes. What would happen is you would plug it in, the car would flash for a second, and it's like, cool, ready to engage. Send me that power. And then it would just blink because it actually could not output enough power to the car. And literally, I was like plugging, I was like moving things in the garage to get the car closer to an outlet that's just inside the the garage door. It's like, well, like plug it in here. At least then I'll know it works. None of them worked. None of them worked, and it was because the wiring in my house is bad, and none of those were going to generate enough to even do like. To charge the car that way, it has to charge for 9.5 hours to get to 25 miles, whereas the level 2 charger that I eventually got installed, like on a dedicated part of on its own circuit, does it in 90 minutes or something like that. So it's not that, you don't think? You think there's something maybe wrong with, or you don't know?
I don't know. This wasn't a high enough draw item. It feels like it should have worked. There was nothing in like the specs for this thing that says it shouldn't have been able to run off just a regular outlet and do its thing.
Okay.
So I don't know what was going on there, but it was infuriating. Because we had all our power washing accoutrement. I was ready to really clean the shit out of my own car. And then no dice. But yeah, it's probably just as well. It turns out that I was probably a little more tired than I thought from mowing the lawn with
okay. When I had the similar situation where for like 2 days I tried in vain to get this car to charge anywhere in this garage. My neighbor, who was one of my good friends, came over and was like, Bud, what are you doing over here? Like, well, I'm trying to get this car to charge. He's like, you probably just need to go get an electrician and go buy the charger and figure it out. I'm like, I know, but I bought this car and now it's just running on gas like a normal car, and I was all excited. And it's irrational. This problem will be fixed in a week. He's like, I know, that stinks. And then like an hour later, he texts me. He's like, hey, come down the street. I was like, all right, we drinking a beer? He's like, we are. But bring your car. I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And he has an electric car. And he moved his electric car onto the street and said, buddy, bring it inside.
That's so beautiful.
Bring it inside. Just charge it.
Yeah.
Just charge it. Like, you deserve this. Like,
just charge it.
Just charge it. And I did. And he let me do it like 2 different times. He was like, hey, do you need me to move my car? I'm like, well, that seems exceptionally silly.
See, that's community.
I was like, that's true friendship. I was like, but this is like such a nice thing for you to do that is not necessary whatsoever. But it meant a lot to me that he recognized how bummed I was that the toy part of my car wouldn't work. That said, feels less and less like a toy given the current state of gas prices.
Yeah. Yeah, things are going great. Yeah, we did get, so, the power washer thing didn't work out, and maybe that's Ryobi's fault, maybe that's something with our setup, we'll see. The Ryobi lawnmower we got rocked. That was excellent. Electric lawnmower.
So I'm trying to pick up what you're putting down. I think I mentioned this to you at some point as you were beginning the journey of thinking about what to buy. Very important to the process you're going down is picking an ecosystem and sticking with it, especially if you're going the electric route. But I don't know if you are, right? Did you go gas powered or did you go electric?
We went electric.
Okay.
So we we went with the Ryobi self-propelled electric, and it's pretty excellent. It didn't even come close to tapping out the batteries for doing the entire lawn, so that was good stuff.
Have you never used a self-propelled lawnmower? Has it been long enough since you were
It's been
kid?
a while. I've used gas self-propelled.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's been a long time.
They're smooth, baby. I don't have an electric one. There's no reason for me to spend, $1,000 on a lawnmower when my current one works just fine. But I have to admit, when I see them, I think about it. Job complete. Open the tablet to continue.
Hell yeah!
Nice work, boys.
Look at us. Yeah. So the thing is, so we had been toying around with and we still might get some sort of lawn tractor thing for just other stuff we have to do around the yard.
Mm-hmm.
But it hit me at a certain point where our yard is so broken up into tiny areas just by rocks and plants and trees and such that even though it's a lot of ground to cover, a tractor would actually not be the thing to do. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Went with the self-propelled, and it was a delight.
Is it quiet like an electric? I mean, obviously you're mowing, but
the propulsion is quieter. The blades, it sounds like a pretty normal mower, to be honest. Once the blades spin up, it just sounds like a lawnmower. All right, let's go to clean this motorcycle. All right, you can see the job details.
All right, on this one, we got Sue Berry. You may have seen the pics of my hubby and I becoming the first sidecar to complete the 24-hour Great Plains Challenge. Everyone thought the tracks were just too bumpy and 24 hours in the seat too restrictive. But it was no problem at all. When I got uncomfortable, I just took my hands off the throttle for a second and gave him a shake. The brutal 5-hour river section sure took it out of the sidecar, though. Can you clean it up? By the way, Bobby wondered if you knew any chiropractors. Aren't chiropractors a scam? Isn't that the consensus these days?
It depends. The theory of it is kind of scammy, but my understanding is still some of the treatments work.
I feel like what I've read is it treats the symptoms but not the root cause, in the sense that you can get pain relief perhaps from what is ailing you,
right?
But in terms of actually solving what is causing the pain in the first place, it's not going to happen at the chiropractor. So it's
right.
That can still be a useful tool. If
but
you are in a ton
and
of
that's
pain.
the thing. There's a whole bunch of things where there's no nothing's going to solve it.
Right.
You're just dealing with muscle and you're just dealing with muscle pain and spinal pain, no matter what. So at that point, whatever kind of works for you.
Well, I
got some Ryobi haters, or maybe just one Ryobi hater. People get very
territorial about their brand,
about which ecosystem they're in.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
100%. Well, I have to imagine that, to some extent, it's going to be what tools are you using, because they probably all have weak points alongside the tool chain. Was Ryobi just? Did my research seem like it added up? Was there anything specific about the Ryobi that called to you?
So MK really likes a lot of their hand tools.
Okay.
And so we already had a bunch of their stuff for just screwdrivers and such around the house, or drills. So we had some stuff we liked, and they were sort of in the top 2 or top 3 of a lot of the other stuff we're looking at getting. Mm-hmm. So it was might as well stay in the ecosystem.
So when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at chiropractors because I had chronic migraines. that
Ooh.
started
Yeah.
when I was. The way my mom always tells it is we were at a family trip to Disney World. Like all my like dad extended family was out for it, like a big deal. Like the first time a bunch of grandkids were old enough to like do all this, and I woke up one day essentially just screaming. And
Oh yeah, if you don't know what a migraine is, too, that first encounter's gonna be something.
my parents were in their telling, like they were gonna give it a day, and if a day didn't solve it, like you just go into the emergency room. Like, I mean, they're starting to speculate in their heads, like, does he have a brain tumor? Like, what the fuck would cause out of nowhere like this incredible, immense amount of pain that only can be addressed by turning the lights out and like putting a damp washcloth over his head. And it wasn't until my mom talked to her mom, and she said, "Oh no, I've had migraines all my life, and migraines can be genetic and hereditary." And it sounds like I had just gotten old enough where those kicked into gear. And there's just, I mean, you gotta remember, this is 30 plus years ago. I don't know how dealing with migraine technology has advanced in the sciences, but when I was a kid, my mom was like, there just wasn't. That sucks, Sucks that you got migraines, kid. The only thing that would give me any relief was we tried going to the chiropractor, like that would it gave the sense of relief, but you wouldn't go during a migraine episode, right? You'd be going out, like kind of outside of it with the hope that maybe that would help address some underlying tension. I don't know. My mom was just throwing stuff at the wall because she was tired of seeing her kid debilitated for 36 hours when a migraine episode would flare up. And like the fucked up thing was that the only thing that the only thing solving it was just getting older. They just went away. Was throwing up, like, because that like explains like the pain from migraine is like your blood vessels contracting and forcing yourself to vomit expands them. And so like if it was a minor migraine, I'd try and just tough it out. And then once it was like hour 4 or 5, my mom would hear the door to the bathroom shut, and she's like, "Are you?" And I'm like,
Yep.
"Yeah, I don't want to feel this way anymore, and the medicine is not doing anything for me, so I'm just gonna do the only Ryobi I had in my tool set, which was to do that." Oh, look at those boys.
Oh, this is gonna take a minute.
Did you ever have, like, what was the? I just took personally good news. No news to be good news, but the dizzy spell from PAX East.
Oh, it just went away.
Went away. Fucking weird.
Yep. No, I mean it seems like it was exactly what it sounded like or felt like, which was just like really intense congestion that eventually just cleared, and that equilibrium sense came back. But yeah, it was a bizarre one. Like, truly did not feel good.
Well, especially when you get to the point in your life where you feel like you figured out like the contours of your body. You know what I mean? Like, what are the things that suck about my body that I have to like deal with and account for that are going to get never better, but maybe better at managing?
Hang on, Patrick.
Yeah.
You want to pull up the job description to see what this whole cat situation is?
Sure. The Denver deal. FA. What is FA?
Don't know.
F.A. We're currently down at Awkward Falls, about to risk life and limb. Oh, no, because someone thinks they saw the mayor's cat licking its paw under the waterfall. It's got to stop, and I've had a brainwave. Bring the old truck out from the garage and give it a clean up and send the recruits out on that wild goose chase while the rest of us get on with all the proper jobs. It's hella filthy, but if you could do your thing and make it sparkling, the mayor will never tell the difference. Thanks, pal.
Okay, and so the theory is the mayor's like playing for sympathy by bringing up this cat situation.
See, I was hoping that we were like cleaning the Paw Patrol's vehicles. You know what I mean? You know.
Hey, this town has a volcano. Calvin Miller attacks. Hey, do you know if the mayor's cat is still missing? I see the cat on the rim of the volcano. Does this seem like a place that would have a volcano?
I hope so.
I guess Ember Woods. Maybe the embers are like, volcanic. Hey, I need to... Oh, that's right. Hang on. Oh, that's right. We got to move this fucking thing. That's what we got to do.
What are you moving?
A little step stool.
All right. Gotta get the angles.
Yeah, wait. It's just floating in space? They're written in the dirt on this: police rules, fire drools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not fun when it feels like, oh, this is a never before seen allergy symptom that just cropped up, and suddenly like the room is like just kind of swimming.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that when I, got my diagnosed with my tinnitus, or I had my herniated disc from a couple years ago. I mean, the herniated disc I have under control. I have found 2 really effective exercises that if I just do those a couple times a day for 48 hours, it basically goes away for a year before I can feel my back sort of tightening up, which tells me that the muscles down there got weaker again. But of course, the time where they got weak was this past weekend, as I was sitting through 2 days of a swim meet on bleacher seats for my oldest daughter's first swim meet. And like bleacher seats are not fun in normal situations, are like a lot worse.
No.
When like as you stand up, you have to tell yourself like, don't let them see weakness. Like, don't let them see the wincing, the wincing that you want to do at the moment.
Hey. All right, that cat situation is evolving.
What's happening with the cat?
Calvin Miller writes, it's definitely Ulysses. I can see his funny leg.
Okay.
Why would a cat hang out 10 feet from a lava flow, though? That's a great question.
Why is the... Okay. It's not safe, cat.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. Also, our next job is to come out to someone's house, and they promise no weird stuff. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, well, you want people to be upfront about their boundaries, right?
Yep. Hey, were you worried there might be weird stuff? No, I can assure you, there won't be. Get on out here.
But as I sat on the bleachers, it was like one of the quickest purchases I've ever made. Was I sat down, felt my back tighten up, and was like, well, I can't do this again if my daughter's going to be really into swimming. I was like, all right, which of these bleacher seats has like the best lumbar support? Well, I was like, we really going to pay that much for 3 of these seats? I was like, yeah, because these ones say that they're like actually better for your back. And I'm like, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to spend a little bit extra to make sure I don't feel like shit.
Yep. Worth it. We'll do anything to prevent severe back pain.
Well, so my wife she has a lot of trouble sleeping. It's gotten worse as she's gotten older. Tried a million different things. Has it in a pretty okay place. It's not quite insomnia. It's more she can fall asleep, but then if she gets up, she has trouble turning her brain off, and then it's just really difficult for her to fall back asleep. We are due for a new mattress. It has been, the 10-year rule is like sort of approaching.
Yeah.
We bought this mattress when we bought the house. We'll have had the house for 10 years. My oldest is turning 10 this summer. So I don't know. And it's Memorial Day is coming up. So if I'm going to buy a mattress, like now is a good time. Try and save a couple of bucks because everyone's going to have them on sale. So I don't know.
Honor our nation's fallen heroes
Hell
by
yes.
getting a discount on that mattress.
So I got to figure out what to get. I don't know. I don't know anything about. When I bought this last mattress, we didn't have any money because we were saving
Yeah.
for the house, getting ready for a kid, bought a new car. A lot of things happened at once. We were moving out of Chicago, and I just I went online, typed in mattress, and the store, like the description in the comments were like, so you're going to think to yourself, you're going to walk in here and the vibe is going to be, kind of seems like these mattresses fell off the back of a truck. Doesn't seem like a place where you're going to buy mattresses. But I assure you, the mattresses here are legit. Don't think about it too hard. I'm like, all right. So my wife and I went, and that's immediately what the vibe was. But I gotta tell you, man, I looked up. You can like look up how old they are by looking at the the different like numberings on the mattress. Like, this is a new mattress, and it is literally half the price of what it would have cost if we went to a quote normal store. And so I took that mattress from the place that seemed like it fell off the back of a truck, and it has served me happily for the past 10 years. Lemon Woot, we lay our heroes to rest, ... with these savings.
Beautiful.
Is the mattress you have, whatever one came over from the apartment? When was the last time you went on we might have had this conversation on a podcast and I've forgotten.
So
yeah?
we got years ago a sleep number.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick, I do think you should go to a sleep number store and just see if you maybe like it. Depends on how different. Like the issue is, MK has like a bad neck, bad shoulders. But like her sleeping comfort needs are very different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep number is like you can be in the same bed and effectively be on different mattresses. So that's kind of the pitch there. And now the mistake we made was we got too carried away with how awesome that sounded. So we got the fully king size split down the middle.
So that is effectively two mattresses.
Yeah, it's basically two long or two tall twins side by side, but in the same frame. And that worked okay until the dog, specifically Tilly. Because that little split.
Oh, no.
Tilly loved it. Tilly loved getting in that split and just absolutely hot dogging in between the mattresses to the point where you'd be like, where the fuck is the dog? And she was completely in the split.
So wait, how does also visibly describe the split? I mean, we look is it like a diagonal? Because you can adjust the angle of the head and the feet, and so it's almost like a tiny mountain exists in between the two of you?
No. So the split is again it is two twin beds side by side. So the split is just as if there's a twin mattress and a twin mattress, and together we got a king.
Okay.
Now they could be adjusted fully independently. That was why we went with it, because if you don't have that, you kind of have to negotiate how much you want the back or the head, up or down, right? Mm-hmm. Or the legs up or down. So we were this gives us the most customization and freedom, and it did. But there's no denying, you got a big gap in the middle of your mattress, and then it gets bigger because the dog starts reaching herself down to the middle of it. And so now, what was, there's a tiny little gap, but you hardly even notice it. All over the course of a night becomes like a foot gap, basically, is how it feels. Like because the way it's sort of set up is the mattresses sit on like their own little like frames, but they do shift a little bit on those frames. So if you got a dog exerting steady pressure on on those mattresses, pushing them out toward the edges, you can have a thing where the mattress is starting to overhang the outer edge of the bed a little bit, and you have this like huge gulch in the middle of your bed that's now filled with poodle. And so we needed to. So that has become that moved up to MK's office, but it's also the old like master bedroom, and so that serves now as sort of a guest bed.
If I'm going in your house, I'm visual because I actually been to your house now. If I'm going down the hallway and your office is on the right, the room opposite of that, on the left, that's where that bed lives now.
Yes.
Okay.
But we did like the Sleep Number so much that we got one. Now we went the other direction. We were like, it's actually just that even if there's no split, there's like 2 air chambers, so you can control the firmness of the mattress, which was the main thing. That's the main thing where we have very different like preferences and needs. So we ended up getting one with no split, and we were really worried that like Tilly wouldn't like it. Tilly didn't care. Tilly was fine with that. But that's been a vast improvement. Just in terms of like quality of life, the bed holds together better, and Tilly is actually cuddlier because before she was like, "What do I need humans for? I can go in my gulch." Now she's like, "I will cuddle my humans," and I would prefer that. That's better for me. So.
All right, well, that is good to know because I don't have trouble sleeping. Like a blessed that easy for me to fall asleep. I can fall asleep anywhere. I can be in uncomfortable positions. I can't sleep on planes. Like there's places I can't sleep. But generally speaking, sleep comes easy to me. I stay asleep. And so this is more, I need probably like this weekend or next weekend before the Memorial Day sales kick in, before I give back to the heroes in the form of buying a mattress. I think it's actually my wife that needs to do what you're recommending, which is like go sleep on some things and figure out what it is that you want. Because that's what I need. I was like, we're only going to do this every once in a while. So now's the time if you like want to splurge, like really get something because you think it might meaningfully impact. I mean, this is like, she has nights where like 2 or 3 nights a week. It's not quite up all night, but it's like it's truly a bad night of sleep. And there's just no way to live if you can avoid it. So I need her to figure out what she wants because I will be fine with whatever she gets.
So the thing about Sleep Number is like the mattresses don't wear out in that way. They're sort of modular, so like components can wear out, but you can replace them. Sleep Number kind of supports everything forever. Like we have in our garage, I think Mackenzie's grandparents' Sleep Number from like the early 90s, and that was still working. You know, when they passed, like 5 years ago or thereabouts. So like. They're mad expensive, but the theory is they're also pretty significantly engineered and they will sort of last forever. So that's, I would try them out if comfort is that much of an issue, because it is a godsend where that thing can be like in certain settings, you can make it so that you're sleeping in a hammock. Effectively, or you can have it so you're like sleeping on a rock. And there's times we need one or both of those extremes, and this makes that kind of easy. Somebody mentioned like Sleep Number has mold problems. I have never heard of that. I have never heard of mold problems with that. The air, I guess, if you have an air leak that you're not aware of, but you're usually pretty aware if there's like a leak that's not supposed to be happening. So not what I've heard of. Somebody also saying, have you guys heard about Dan Reichert talking about his bacteria-infested sponsor-provided mattress?
Is that part of the readout sheet? You supposed to talk
Okay, but
about
here's
that
the
part?
thing. Here's the thing. And hey, happy anniversary for 1 year Giant Bomb Independent. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Congratulations. And like, mad respect for you guys. Love you guys. Love what you do. I feel like sometimes things happen to Dan Reichert that would not happen to anyone else. That is what I would say. It's like with bacteria infested mattress, but it belonged to Dan Reichert. I need more details, right? Like, is it the sponsor mattress, or like, did Dan do something or not do something? Both are possible.
I also wonder if this is a situation where did he get one, it went bad, and rather than, like, how many times did this go wrong? Did you just keep engaging with the same
They're
device
saying
over
it
and over?
They keep replacing it for free. He neglected to clean the mechanisms of the mattress properly. I just don't know.
That sounds like a maintenance. This does sound slightly like a skill issue. Is this a maintenance thing?
This is the thing. It's like, you never know. It's like, have we had Dan learn germ theory like live on the air yet? Is that a segment that exists where it's like, what do you mean it's not on my asthma? Like, I feel like that's a segment that could exist. But yeah, Patrick, they will. You go to the store, like, basically the way we've gotten both of these things is we've done the zero interest financing, and we just have like a monthly payment on this thing, because like the ones we're looking at, they're pretty expensive, but you know, you finance them. It wasn't too burdensome, and kind of a godsend with two people with really different, like, musculoskeletal issues.
Sure. What if I got one of those where my bed would stop working if there was a cloud outage?
It's not cloud dependent.
I know, but like, what if I decided to go down that route? Yeah.
Well, then you would deserve what you got, which is nothing. You got a cloud bed? What are you doing? Yeah, no, I would. Somebody asked if Sleep Number lets you temperature control. Their latest one, like the Climate Plus, because we now have two different versions, and the latest is the one that might sink the company. Honestly, they poured a huge amount of R&D into the new, like, Climate Plus,
smart bed, smart bed.
Because they were, like a lot of businesses, they were like, damn, people were buying mattresses at a crazy clip during peak COVID. And so they were like, this is never going to slow down. We're going to create the best engineered bed in the world. And then COVID, the most intense phases of it passed. People started being like, maybe I want to spend money not on things in my house. But then also they started getting just absolutely killed by Casper,
Right.
8 Sleep, etc., that were undercutting them. I think you do research. Sleep Number has the argument that, like, they still do have the most features and are the best engineered and, like, the highest build quality of the bunch. They do have that argument, but a lot of people don't care about that stuff, right? It's like, well, this one does 65-70% of what the Sleep Number does, and it's way cheaper. So I'm just going to go with that. So the one I got has feet warmers. Awesome.
Wait, so it only heats at the bottom?
They used to only heat at the bottom. They have feet warmers, like the comment about, like, calf height, and then they heat the lower part of the bed.
Okay.
But then they also have an air circulating system for cooling or heating the bed.
Okay, I'm now starting to understand why there was a financing plan associated with this bed.
And I was skeptical,
As you often are.
but it rocks. I was because I was like, yeah, I've never felt like I needed the bed to be like actively cooling off that much, or certainly never heating up. No, take it back. I love it. I absolutely adore it now. Where I'm like, ooh, I'm comfortable, but I could be a little more comfortable. And then you hear like the little like compressor kick on, like, and suddenly you're just like crazy comfortable.
Wait, so how are you modifying this? On the side of the bed with an app?
Uh, with an app, but also just in case like Bluetooth or your app is not working, they do they do give you a remote. You can buy. They give you a remote that's kind of cheap, but then there's a slightly nicer one that you can buy up, and I do recommend the slightly nicer one because it's just a way better interface for controlling the bed. But yeah, so you're never out of luck. Like it controls through Bluetooth, through Wi-Fi, and then there's like a local remote that you can use.
Steps? What are the steps? Oh, I see. I see the steps.
Handles.
This is my favorite part of the entire. Is when you have to try and find the last couple.
Fog lights.
Probably in the front, right?
I would think, but they look clean as hell. I'm just gonna start blasting this thing. Like
that is, we've
wait.
solved this a couple of times by.
There we go. Yep.
And I just started blasting. I'm gonna have to.
It sounds like an ad read at this point. Yeah. Look, I like what I like. Sleep Number. If you do want, like, I just gave it away for free. It's too late.
Well, no, but I need one.
Yeah, I should have gotten a referral code or something. Get Patrick to.
Job complete. That's what I'll say when I buy a mattress in 2 weeks. All right, don't skip ahead yet. Don't skip ahead yet. I want to see the time lapse of us finishing this bad boy. All right, $50.
Oh yeah,
Does that feel like $50, Rob? All right, take us to the next one. Anya at work, sister-in-law had a Sleep Number and said it was crunchy to sleep on. That feels like something could be. That's like the eye of the body holder. You know what I mean? Like beds are so personal. That the one that feels awful to one person, it makes sense to me that it could feel delightful or appropriate to the other.
So the other thing I'd say here is, like, I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable bed I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is I've never owned a bed where within a few months I start getting back pain. Just because, like, it's a moving target for me, right? Like, like I need to change sort of the softness of it, etc. Every mattress we've gotten, it's like kind of a moving target, and eventually it's like, I just don't like. I'm starting to wake up with like back pain, and so I think the Sleep Number is like it hedges against that. I don't think it's going to be a lot of people's first or even second choice. But I think when you start getting like some chronic pain issues in the mix, like the Sleep Number starts to emerge as like, oh, this is the thing that like helps you manage that stuff and sort of respond to what you need. Mm-hmm. But like there are times that there are settings certainly that it does feel like, yeah, this is a really fancy air mattress. I think it's a bit better than that, but I totally get where that argument is coming from. So what keeps your wife up again? Like, what is it? Just back? Like,
I honestly think it's more. She is spreadsheet brain. Like that is the type of person that she is, and so she thinks a lot of her life in terms of task management and I need to do this to do that and that sort of thing, and she's always thinking about the next day. She has trouble like turning off that part of her, and a slightly anxious person by nature, and I think what ends up happening is, the equivalent of like counting sheep. She starts counting the things that she needs to do the next day.
Yep.
And then, now the spiral I get into when I have trouble sleeping is the stress of, which is very common, I'm sure, like, well, now I'm thinking about the fact that I'm not sleeping, which is making me stressed about the fact that I'm not sleeping. And one thing that happened was when one of the surefire ways to try and address that kind of anxiety, if you can, is to sleep somewhere else. Now, if you live in an apartment where you've got one bed and you don't like your couch, it's just, keep rolling over on that bed until you find your way through it. My oldest had a bunk bed in which we acquired through our family at one point, like a really nice mattress that went at the top. And we gave my daughter, when she got it, when she was like 6, the cheaper mattress. Because she's 6. Fuck her. She doesn't need the nice mattress.
No, it's wasted on.
And the thinking was, well, she wanted this bunk bed, ended up not being too scared to sleep on the top. And so whenever one of us needed somewhere else to sleep, whether somebody was sick, hey, you take the whole real bed, I'll go sleep in the bunk bed. I'm gonna sleep on top, and I'm gonna sleep in the nice ass mattress up there. Well, eventually my daughter wanted a desk because she was doing homework at school, and she said, "Is it possible that at some point I could get a loft bed?" I was like, "That's a very reasonable request. It makes way more sense for where you're at." We never even did we read? Shit, we didn't.
Oh, hey, yeah, we didn't.
We can still do it.
Well, this was, this was a gift though. This was so easy. Everything just washed right off.
My
Like,
poor
this was the
SUV.
game.
Look at the state of it. Dropped the kids off at the play school, and the police have closed the National Park Drive for some reason. So I had to double back over the dirt tracks to get home. Trixie wasn't built for roads like that. Please help her get all cutesy again. XXO, XXO, XX. Well, we did it. Don't you worry. We're all over this, Beth. So we switched to the loft bed, but that means the loft meant we lost like the alternative bed to go sleep in. Now, a couple years ago, my youngest, she wanted to start having more sleepovers, and it's like, you can't get the air mattress, but we looked at our options, and a trundle bed actually seemed like it was maybe the best solution, because a trundle bed would have drawers built into it, give us more space for her clothes, so she could put like basic amenities for her morning routine in there. And then the trundle bed allows you to, you stack 2 mattresses, and then when you need it, you pull out one of them, and then boom, you got 2 beds, and her friend could sleep next to her in that bed. Well, that's great, and if you plan for it, you can use that bed as a second bed if you want to move in the middle of the night. But that doesn't help you at 3 in the morning when you feel like shit and you're just trying to get back to sleep, and the thought of like sleeping somewhere else might be what you need to reset. And also, it's the anxiety of, am I rolling over and over again? And now am I bothering my partner in my journey to go to sleep? Now, I always tell my wife, that will never happen. It never has happened. You have never woken me up. In fact, if it would make you feel better, wake me up. Tell me to go sleep on the couch. I will simply go to the couch, fall asleep, and it'll be like nothing ever happened. But she doesn't think that way at 3 in the morning. She gets anxious and feels bad that she's rolling over, looking at her phone, trying to read for a little bit, trying anything to just reset her brain. So now we sold the old... We sold my oldest old bed set, and now we're thinking of replacing, not because my youngest needs it, but getting her bunk beds, but like nice bunk beds, and buying nice mattresses for both of them so that we could regain having a second bed to sleep in.
This is one of the low-key best upgrades just for life here since we moved, is like, MK now has like what used to be our old bed in her office, and that means, Because similar thing, we both will sometimes, rarely synced up on this, but we will both have nights where it's like, I'm just gonna be up. I'm wide awake.
Yep.
The ability to just be like, and that is no one's problem now.
Right.
Like, it is like, I'm just gonna get up. I'm gonna go to my office. I'm gonna go work, and then I'm gonna crash in the other bed, which is a full, like, that was our bed. That is a bed for adult humans. We slept in it for like 5-6 years. So we just do that. That has been an incredible upgrade.
Well, I'm gonna finally talk to a contract. Like what we really need is just another bed somewhere. And like my office used to have a pull-out couch. And then when I reorganized my office to have the spot that I'm in now, which is my production desk, and then a stand-up desk that is where I do my writing and admin stuff, just to sort of split up the flow of my day, we got rid of that because that used to be the backup one. But we have a a bunch of cement underneath our deck, and our deck is really large. And the thought has been, my wife and I have always talked about, like, well, I wonder if at some point we could turn that into a seasonal room. And maybe you could enclose that enough that
Wait.
Yeah.
So you're on the 3-season to edition pipeline.
Well, it wouldn't be like an addition is like putting on a real ass room. We wouldn't be putting in a real ass room. It would be
no way. It slowly turns into a real ass room over time.
Well, the questions on real ass room become: do you want to spend a lot of money on windows? And I don't know. I've looked into that, Rob. I don't. Now those windows could maybe be replaced one day, so I don't know. I need to assess my options because we don't use what is underneath the deck used to be used for lots of kids stuff. My kids are now old enough that the kind of stuff like a little playhouse and a sand pit, they don't use that stuff anymore. And the cement down there is all fucked up. It's not dangerous, but it is like crumbly and got cracks. And I've at various points wanted to fix that. But like, why would I fix that if it might be fixed alongside a different project? But it's one of those, like, I don't know what the project is. I need to talk to somebody that walks me through what are my options. Are we talking, Patrick can figure it out based on what he's got set aside, or you're 10 years into the house, you bought it when the market was really good and in your favor. All those things you get in the mail that say, you should really think about a home equity loan. Like, is that the time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But a room like that would go a long way towards, because I took the extra room in the house. Like, that became my office. That's the nice part about working from home, but also like 4-bedroom house isn't a 4-bedroom house if Patrick's in it with all his cameras and audio equipment and you can't use it for literally anything else.
Yep. Very true.
Lemon, what if instead of windows you had giant screens to simulate the outside?
Look, frequently I think the mistake that Charlize Theron made in Prometheus is ever leaving that cozy little studio apartment she had with the pretend view of like
nice.
An alpine resort. I'd have just been, I'm just hanging.
Oh wait, we should.
Wonder what's going on outside. No, I don't. I'm good.
Ora Smith and Jenny Pebbles. Doc, we'd like you to meet our trusty RV. Before we settled down at Esther's, we've traveled around the country, chasing mysteries, doing odd jobs, just bumbling around, really. One day we might be deep in a wood. The next we're traveling at breakneck speed along country roads, evading the authorities. All of which has taken its toll on our poor RV. Please give her the clean she deserves to reclaim her crown as queen of the open road. Z Bars, have you considered buying a complex like Rob? Well, so the thing is, I do have a grand vision for the backyard. of which I have consulted with nobody to understand the feasibility of such a project. But my daughter is very funny. My oldest asked me at one point, she's like, doesn't understand. I mean, she understands finances, but she's like, how much money do we have? I was like, well, like mom and dad are, very fortunate that, we don't have to worry about things. Like, I guess that's how I describe it. We can't do everything, but, food on the table, having somewhere to live.
I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I don't think my parents ever told me they didn't have to worry. And there were times they didn't. But, my parents gave off such unsettling energy about the state of our family finances that, I just ended up traumatized about, household finance in general. Because I was like, I don't know if we got it, man. Is this okay?
And I said, but the way you would know, did mom's company get bought? And, all those mysterious shares that we don't know what they mean or do, and that equity turned into something, how would you know that things were different? So, well, how would we know? It's because you would see shovels in the backyard because they were putting a pool in. And not the pool we have now, a $500 Intex pool that is made out of PVC pipe and some vinyl, but, a real pool. That's, young child, that's when you would know the state of affairs has changed. It's like, oh, okay. I don't think any of that's ever going to happen. I've been told for 13 years that, don't worry, those shares are going to turn into something someday. I'm not counting on that. So, the middle ground on a pool is you buy a nicer stand-up pool, but you dig it into the ground a little bit. So you just sort of get it into the ground by a couple of feet, which allows you to buy a taller pool so it can be deeper, but you're not actually putting concrete in and doing the whole rigmarole. So I have this deck that has a big tree behind it that eventually is going to have to be taken out, and I'm trying to prepare for that day because I need to sort of scope out in my head and financially what would we do when that tree is gone? Because when the tree is gone, the yard is empty. It is a giant yard with nothing in it. And my kids are now going to be old enough that putting in a trampoline or a play set just doesn't really make sense. So, all right, what are we doing something that meets where the family is? And so my thought was, what if that deck extends down, stairs go down from where the deck currently is? You built around a nicer standing up a standing up pool that was built into the ground so you could get something longer and deeper. And then there were also stairs that went down from there to how was it put here by Daily Bean 31? A streamer shed. I think I've talked about a version of this on HOA at some point. But what if I just moved everything that I have here into essentially what you were originally attempting to do with your house, which was, what if your office and all the fancy audio and video equipment was no longer in your house and was in a fancy streamer shed that was also a room.
Yeah.
And basically, the deck would expand down to a pool. Then that would extend down to, in the corner of the yard, a room that housed all of my work stuff. And that all fully moved out of the house back there. It would be a pain of the butt in the winter, but whatever. I would, you could live with it. And that is a 10-year plan. That is not something I'm looking to do. It's over the next 10 years, how much would it cost, and could I conceivably pull off the streamer shed pool? I could get out, I could go swimming after doing a stream. How good would that be? How good would that be?
Oh, that sounds awesome.
How good would that be?
You just sign off and then just throw yourself in the pool immediately.
Yes. You want to get real fancy? I would take. Well, we could talk about this on HOA tomorrow, but I did get a new hot tub as a gift.
Okay.
As a gift for my birthday. I can get into it tomorrow, but I did get it. And what if I just what if instead of just the pool, what if you also built around that little inflatable hot tub? You could have those right next to each other. Go for a swim. Go in the inflatable hot tub. Why not? Why stop yourself? Bring back hot tub Twitch. I finished Kingsfield 4 The Awakening out of my old hot tub. That VOD is somewhere.
We just got the heat pump installed in the studio.
Okay.
So that is progress toward more permanent residency in there. But you're also, I don't know, man, we're really not cut out to be, we're too quick to feel guilty, I think. Because it was like, well, if we're getting a heat pump, Mitch needs 2 heat pumps.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a good impulse.
They're expensive. They're expensive.
You said
pretty badly in the red on landlording so far is what I would say. Yeah, so what if we hook this dude up with a really good HVAC system, heat pump, and that's just going to cost significantly in excess of anything he's paid us so far. It's like, what the hell? Let's do it.
Well, good for that heat pump.
Yeah, it'll be.
I mean, it's a long-term investment in theory.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're not going to regret that it's there. It's probably going to decent chance it outlives literally everyone associated with the house right now. So we are leaving the heat pump situation for the studio that's like by the detached garage. That will deal with that one has had so much wild shit happen to it. That little studio in the detached garage, where it's like it's more animal habitat than room at this point. There's like a family of raccoons living under it.
Oh, Rob.
It's pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's you get whatever story you got to spin to yourself.
Bird nests under the eaves.
Oh, delightful.
Oh yeah, it's super cute. And then the water heater in there slowly bled out over. I think we had it removed before the winter. We realized what was going on, but yeah, it just slowly leaked through, and who knows what it did to the floor in there. So we'll deal with that later at some point. There's a whole bunch of fun things that. Oh, and hey, we had a roof leak the other day too. That was exciting. I came up from doing a bunch of chores downstairs, and I was like, "Hey, there's like water spatters everywhere in the foyer." And then I look up, and there's just water coming down through the roof. Now, fortunately, it was like just straight through. It was like sort of a rainfall showerhead situation almost, where it was just dripping through somewhere in the ceiling. But remember, we don't have an attic. So like where you see it is where it is, and it wasn't like coming down through the wall. It was just like straight down. So to an extent, hopefully it'll be a simple little thing. I go back and forth. Like it feels like we deal with more leaks here, but on the other hand, because we don't have an attic, we literally see every single time something happens, we know immediately that like, oh, there was water coming in here. And I do wonder how often like the roofs just kind of have like little leaks that you just never detect because they're just up there doing stuff in the attic that you can't see, and probably wish you did.
I mean, I think if you were getting just straight water the way you're describing, at some point you'd have a mold issue that you'd discover at some point. But I mean, on like a macro level, your theory that, well, you're discovering minor problems faster than perhaps others would is probably not entirely unfounded, but I do detect a slight bit of cope coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't, because it's like, I think the thing I live in fear of is like the huge leak that you didn't detect until it's like fucking everywhere, right? And that seems less likely here. But on the other hand, water just coming straight in. Here it comes.
Well, so
Drip, drip, drip.
I put this off. I can't put it up much longer because, well, there's nothing imminent. So we had a plumber come in and replace the sinks in our kids' bathroom, which were starting to get a little gnarly, and we wanted something that matched the aesthetic better. So he came in and did that, and then I asked him, could you just like look around at a couple other things? I'm trying to wrap my head around various stuff I may or may not want to take care of in the future. And he was like, yeah, sure. But now also imagine that in like the thickest Polish accent you can imagine. And then you have a better sense of what it was like. And he pointed out like down where like the main water valve where like if you had a leak somewhere and for some reason you couldn't turn it off in the location, here's where you'd turn off all the, the main water valve to the whole house. He shows me him turning it back and forth. He's like, that is requiring entirely too much effort to do. At some point, maybe never, but maybe someday, that is going to fail. And he's like, where you have this is the valve you have here is the original valve, or whenever it was last modified. And he's like, the thing is, if that one goes, you have to call the city to get the water turned off. And then before they can replace it, it's like a whole... He's like, you do not want to do that. Like, you just don't. He's like, so what I'd recommend is having me come back and basically you can, next to that valve, like you can put something in that's like a new one that can stop the water at a different point in the pipe. That means that you just never have to touch that original on-off again. And that's easy enough. You could just get something, you twisted and turned. But I have thought, well, is this the moment to get a little fancy with the home automation, which is that you can buy those things that basically will like automatically turn off your water if it detects a leak, if it's connected to any one of your other devices that can detect leaks. I have these little, things around my house that detect water and send me a notification if it happens. And it has genuinely been helpful a couple different times where we've had minor leaks in the house, and I was able to address it or have someone go over and check it out. And I could get something that would talk to all those devices. And it's like, yo, man, once we hear one of those, whoosh, water to the house, off. Like, we're just done. Like, we got an alert that, like, there's a leak in your kid's bathroom. Boom. Water to the house. Dunzo. Unless you tell us in the app, like, no, it's cool. Like, it can turn back on. I don't know. Do I need something like that fancy when it's like if you go on vacation, you could just turn the water off to your house and not worry about it if you're going to be gone for, 2 weeks?
Oh, wow. Pat, you got to get under here. Look at this. Look at this whole situation.
Oh, goddamn. Underside.
Yeah, when we went to Miami, it was our first time away from the house since we moved here, really, for any significant length of time.
Sure.
And it was we were surprisingly nervous about it. Like, it was we definitely shut off the water before we left. Like,
I don't think that's unreasonable.
Not gonna catch me being Emmanuel.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, even though if I was gone for a significant period of time, if I didn't want to turn the water off, it's like, well, then you got to get somebody to go over there and deal with it. What happens in the meantime while you wait for someone to deal with it? So I don't know. I got to look at those devices and see how much it costs to get one that does the auto shut off. But I'll probably just end up having him install like a normal valve and turn it off if I'm gone for more than 72 hours. But yeah, that's a very normal stressor to have. Like
I never cared this way though about the condo, right? It's like it'll be fine. Plus, well, the condo, it's like
it's a
anything
condo.
happens to
Like,
that
well, how much could
building-
go wrong? And like the scope
Right.
of wrong is just different.
Anything major, people will detect. Like the fire department will be there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like your condo's not going to burn down, and the fire nobody caught it. Like people are going to. You might still like be fucked, but it's not like you won't. Things will be done. Police will be called, etc. Fire department will be called. Whereas this, you can just start imagining, right? Like the life-ruining things that could transpire while you're out of town, and so that we dwelled on that a little bit, but all's well that ends well.
Did you I feel like I saw this on Blue Sky somewhere. While you're in Miami, did you eat some lasagna?
No, but so Barilla Pasta or Barilla Pasta is a major sponsor of Formula One events at this point.
Okay.
And they bring to a bunch of races the Barilla Pasta Lasagna Zone or whatever. And yeah, dude, it was Miami. It was 93 degrees and then unbelievably humid. And they had a big old place you could show up that like a big like food truck area where it's like, come to the Barilla Pasta Lasagna Zone. Nobody, I didn't see a soul who was like, yeah, fuck me up with that lasagna right now. Gimme. That sounds so good. Who doesn't want big old lasagna right here? You're just like, you're just sweating in places you didn't know you could sweat. Lightheaded from the heat. Going through $20 of water like every 30 minutes because you just have to keep buying tiny little Aquafinas. It was so grim, but it was so funny that they were like, yeah, hey, if anyone needs lasagna, we got it. Lasagna here. Get your lasagna.
Oh my god. And they were charging for it, I assume. This wasn't a free lasagna situation.
No, I think you're charging, but it probably is like relatively cheaper than some of the other foods because it's like sort of a tie-in thing. But yeah, it was. I think it was charged.
What is the price of a beer at an F1 event?
Hang on, I should know this. I want to say. Hang on, you know what? Hang on, I'm pulling this up.
Was it surprising, or is your lack of memory of it? It was like, yeah, it was like stadium beer, $16 for a giant.
I think it might have been worse, dude. I'm just pulling up the transactions from that nightmarish shit show because it was like I remember sitting there in the bleachers, and every time the guy came through, I was like, "This is how much?" And then I was like, I don't care. I just need this. I just need to not feel this way anymore. So I will deal with it. Jesus. God damn, this place is expensive.
When you're probably trapped, right? Like wherever you
Oh
are.
yeah,
Like, there's nowhere.
dude,
nowhere
you're
to go.
trapped in so many ways while you're there. Okay, so. I think a beer was like $20.
And it's at least like tall boys, like maybe not tall boy.
Yeah,
but
it was a tall boy. It was a tall boy.
Right. That seems to be.
Yeah, it was.
That is something I've noticed, like in maybe not recent years, but like I'll go and I'm like with my kids. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna get a beer. And it's like there's no option other than the giant. Like my kids have commented like, that's a huge beer. I'm like, okay, but like this, there wasn't a small. Like, it's only we started XL. Like.
So I don't know if y'all can see this on the stream. I'll send this to Patrick in a second, but this is Tilly on the bed.
Oh, in the crease?
Yep. Let me send that to Patrick.
If you send
here.
it to me, I can
Yep.
put it up on the screen. I mean, that is good to know. We have not gotten a new dog yet. We have been every Tuesday. My wife refreshes the website from the place that we would like to adopt from, and if you remind me, I have like 2 upsetting stories. Not upsetting, but we have gone through the process with our kids of meeting a dog and it not working out. And let me just say, those were
That is tough, dude.
it didn't work out in totally different ways 2 different times, but that has sort of been the journey we've been on, and eventually it'll work out, and we're not in any rush. But I bring all that up just because, our last dog, Pixel, tiny Chihuahua, we let her sleep with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be a decision in front of us on whether we want to go that route a second time. Or if you're going to make the decision to not have them sleep with you, you kind of have to make that right. You know what I mean? Like, set the boundaries at the start and stick with it.
Right.
And now we're not going to get dogs nearly as big as that's like a house requirement, is that they're going to be bigger than a Chihuahua, but not on the bigger side, like your dogs. But still, like, it's accepting another body into the equation on the bed.
That is a big decision. I can't advise you. Like, I think we are more sentimental people than you are in some ways. Maybe many ways. Last night, after we were done reading, and it was time to like turn out the lights, go to bed, neither of the dogs moved. Mina had been lying between my knees, and so you're just sitting there with your legs in a Y, with just murder on your hips, but like the dog's sleeping there, and like they're so comfy. Didn't move at all. And then Tilly was like squarely in the middle, and so I just had to like maneuver myself into like the human comma across the bed with my knees, like my legs shot into this narrow gap between Mina and Tilly, while I just like lay diagonally across the bed, and then like got a little crumb of the corner of the mattress to put my head. Slept like the dead. I felt great. It was very cozy, but.
I mean, part of it is if like, I spent years with the kids being part of the bed in various ways, and then at a certain point, once you've reclaimed the ability to just sleep with my wife,
Yep.
it's
No, I know, dude.
So I think the way we've talked about it is like, well, the dog can sleep with the kids. I think the boundary we might draw is,
oh yeah, you know what? That's a good.
If you want to sleep in their beds, that's fine. You can't sleep in our bed.
And then really show the kids who's boss too. That's how that's gonna go. Dog's gonna own that bed. I sent you the picture if you want to put it up.
Oh my word!
Now here's the other question.
This is extremely funny. Yeah.
Do y'all want to watch me eat a wild mushroom on stream?
What does that mean?
Exactly what I said. Do y'all want to watch me eat a wild mushroom on stream? I found a delicious looking mushroom in my yard the other day. We are confident we've identified it as a morel or morel mushroom.
Okay.
So we checked, like, if it is not, like, it's a very, very small chance that yes, it would be toxic, and it's not what we think it is. In this case, the stakes of that are I will have some unfortunate time in the bathroom tonight and into tomorrow, but I won't die.
Okay. I mean, I can't say I'm not like.
It seems like everyone's stoked, right?
Why not? You know. Where is this mushroom? There it is. There's Tilly. That's very funny.
Yeah.
So that's where the bed split happens? Like right there.
It goes all the way through, like from head to toe of the bed.
Wow.
Yeah. Now you don't have to, and I don't recommend getting it that way. Like that was us being way too excited about what like the sleep number could do.
Yeah.
And we didn't ask if it should do that.
Yeah.
So that was the like it is cool that they allow it. But it was too tempting for the dog, and it is effectively like you're no longer sleeping in the same bed. It is.
Where's the mushroom?
Hang on, I will ask.
So are these mushrooms
MK
supposed to
is
be...
offering to prep the mushroom.
Well, what does prep mean? Is she gonna like cook it in
Saute it? You have to
Okay.
saute morels or morels. They're not good to eat raw.
Well, what is not good to eat? Like they don't taste good, or you'll get sick
You'll
in a
be
different way?
sick. You'll be sick.
So wait, that gets rid of the poison by sautéing it?
The mushrooms are mysterious and magical, my friend. I don't fully understand the process either.
What's your life insurance situation like?
I am currently applying for some.
Okay, all right.
I'm like, hey, I would like to.
Dude, I went through this about a year ago, and was I'm going to describe it as discrimination, in which the insurance companies were like, "Oh, your dad died? We're just not going to insure you." Like, was basically the response I got.
Oh my god!
From like multiple. Like,
Oh, it seems like death runs in your family.
Oh,
nice try, you
your
fucking scammer.
Oh, your dad died of a heart attack? Like, sorry, uninterested in covering you. It's like, whoa.
So you're just raw dogging mortality?
I eventually, my like lovely financial advisor found a place that was like, originally he was like, you might have to submit to some extra tests and then you'll be fine because you have a long history of going to the doctor and staying on top of your blood work and yada yada yada. We'll figure it out. But I ended up not having to do that. But it was like, I got to that question, and it's like, either of your parents died, yada yada. I'm like, well, I guess I have to list that. And my insurance agent or my financial advisor was like, no, you have to. Like, if it any like they don't want to give you this money, and to your wife if like somehow something happened, and so if you listed that one of your parents didn't die, then that could be used as justification to not do a like full payout or something. It's like fine.
Hey, Patrick, do you know how to do polls?
Yeah.
Or bets in Twitch?
Yeah, hold on.
Because people want to bet whether or not I'm eating a good mushroom or a bad one.
Where is it?
So someone's asking if there's a volume varying quite a bit. We're having some bad habits. We're both turning away to look at stuff, and so we're coming on and off the mic in a way you probably shouldn't do. But we're coordinating a lot. Like I'm getting fresh wild morel mushroom prepared for me.
When I'm getting like, it's been a minute since I've ran a stream myself, and when my second monitor where everything else is over here, I should do this and lead the mic over with me, but I'm not always doing that. Or I should just stop talking when I'm modifying something in the stream.
This thing looks clean as hell, and they're telling us it's not.
Where do I start a poll? Cheer. Chat settings. Mod view? No. What did I do here?
Uh-oh. I'd love to hear that. Ooh.
No, I just hit some admin mode. I just don't. Do I do that in the back end?
There we go. Brake lights and indicators.
How to start poll Twitch. Oh. Manage poll in your creator dashboard. Oh, okay. I have to. Okay. I see. I have to be in the dashboard. Magical manage poll.
I have no idea. So we got a Guinness hater in the YouTube chat. This is why we ignore the YouTube chat, to be honest. Like stuff like this. I'm an Englishman in Dublin, and I just had my first Guinness. I'm 36 years old and don't drink. I don't want to be culturally insensitive, but what the actual hell? It's a Guinness. I don't know. It's a Guinness. I don't know what to tell you. Like if you don't drink, like you don't. It is probably an acquired taste, I guess. But like I don't fully. Oh man, I'll tell you this. So the people I was staying with in Miami, my friend's dad, he was like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. I bought us delicious. We'll be able to stay up, and we had some great things to drink." And indeed, it was a delightful. It was an excellent selection of Islay single malts.
All right. Make some mistakes.
No, it's more. Again, Miami.
Yeah.
Steaming hot. You're dying.
Rob, didn't something very similar happen to you at Disney?
Well, this didn't have. No, that's not the issue. I didn't have a lapu boo boo. I think is the way we put it. Like nothing like that happened.
Okay.
Islay single malts are like the smokiest, peatiest, like deliciously acrid scotches they make. A fascinating experience when you're just dying in heat. The sun's finally gone down, and it's like, yeah, hook me up. I'm gonna do this.
Damn it. Oh yeah, here we go. There
we go.
Oh yeah. Indicators. What are indicators?
This is I would assume turn signals, but like the turn signal lights, but they're clean as hell.
Windows? One of the windows. Oh, I see the window. All right, window. Now 2x indicator, which makes it seem like they're near each other. Oh. You just did it. What'd you do? Something in the front.
It's these top.
Oh.
Okay.
Indicators clean. All right. Don't skip ahead yet. We're going to watch the time lapse. Oh, yeah. Spent a lot of time on that roof.
Hey, I love this confidence. 60% people think I'm going to be fine with this morale.
Okay. They wouldn't guide us astray, would they?
Again, sometimes I think the worst thing that could happen is just if my death prove the most annoying people right about something. Like there's people who are like, you should literally never eat a wild mushroom. And it's like, no, but this is like the most recognizable of the edible mushrooms. Like the morel doesn't have a lot of close imposters. Like it looks pretty like this one are pretty good. But what if it goes bad? And then those people will be out there being like, "See, well, oh yeah, you think it's safe? You think it's good to do this? Let me show you." Rob Zachney died on stream or died after a stream because he ate a morel.
Well, gonna find out. Oh, should we see what's next?
Yeah.
How quickly would we know if the mushroom is bad?
I am curious about that myself.
How quickly does the worm?
That's true. Like, would I have to just run like Patrick? Cut the stream. Cut the stream.
I'm trying to think of what's the fastest that it's gone wrong for me. I've only had food poisoning. No, I've had it a couple of times. But food poisoning is later. You know what I mean? Like food poisoning doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's something that you sort of recognize in retrospect that's why you were sick. I'm not sure I've ever had an instance where I went from fine to unfine within a matter of minutes.
This thing is dirty.
Talking about the mushroom, or are you talking about the copter?
The helicopter. This thing is
Well,
absolutely filthy.
We've got one heck of a dirty copter on our hands. Your buddy Cal got himself into a real spot of bother up on Mount Rushless. Poor guy was so delirious from volcanic fumes, he thought the mayor's hellish feline was up there with him. He's fine now. But
it's Cal. He was the one sending us text. He thought the cat was up there. Yeah.
He's fine now, but the copter looks like something dug up from the bowels of the earth. Wish it nearly was. We've got TV crews arriving later. So you can do if you can do what you do so well, it'd sure get us out of a jam. Thanks again, pal. All right, well, see what we can do, Reno.
Is it? I did put the metal cleaner on here, right?
How's that?
It's not going down.
How's the soap working out for you?
It's saying it's is it already
It gets used so fast.
But it's not going down. Maybe I didn't actually buy it. I don't know. Okay, I got 2 liters in here. All right, now it's making the bubbly sound. Oh, you know what? Shit, I'm a fool. I think it might have glitched, and I might have had free soap.
Suppose that's possible. Also, I have to say, while you may be the one ingesting the mushroom, if you got sick...
Hang on. Hang on. The mushroom's here.
Oh.
One second.
Yeah. I don't think Rob should eat the mushroom. But, not my life, not my call.
All right. So you're saying, Patrick, you feel good about this?
What I was saying was that in like whose fault is it? Like, I think it's way more MK's fault than yours if you get sick.
I kind of think so too.
Because you wouldn't do this. Would you trust your own judgment on like picking a wild mushroom and then preparing it and eating it?
No, I probably wouldn't.
Right? But like, you trust hers. She's done the research.
Oh my god.
She's got all that equipment out in the...
This is so fucking good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
fuck. Oh my god.
All right, well. So far, so good.
Thank you, Lubu, for the recommendation to score it for the additional Maillard reaction. That's a good call. This is incredible. Just hard sear saute, salt and pepper.
Mushrooms are definitely alongside probably, like raw fish, like eating sushi, thing that I did not understand at all when I was a kid that I appreciate the most as an adult that eventually came around on it. Mushrooms are great.
Oh my god. Yeah, wow. Oh my god. Wow. I don't think I've ever had a fresh morel mushroom. Usually getting them like like dried and then reconstituted. Oh yeah, this soaked for like 48 hours or like 36.
In what? Just water?
Yeah. I think I saw some saying that like it should be a saline bath, but it seems like there's some debate as to whether that's necessary, but it does need to soak. It was so delightful because like I just stumbled across these while I was mowing, and I was like, wait a second, those look like the good mushrooms. I stopped and I was like, Evan Lottie was like, you're good to go, big dog. Here's pictures of the false morels. I didn't even know why they're called false morels. They don't look anything like the good ones.
Okay.
And he was right. Their nearest imposter looks completely different and fucked up.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I would eat it. I have such a bad stomach. I've spent so much of my life in front of a toilet that I'm, like,
Yeah.
I'm so risk averse on that stuff. Like I prep a lot of the meals in the house, and whenever I'm dealing with raw chicken, I mean, like, I wash my hands to like such a degree because I'm just so paranoid I'm gonna get myself or someone else sick. It's like a healthy paranoia, but I'm so tired of. Certainly, the worst thing my mother gave me on the genetic tree was her awful stomach.
So, lemon woot. I have maybe the thinking on this has shifted. I've heard you are better off having a dedicated wooden meat cutting board because I want to say like plastic will get like scored by the knife and create little crevices that are hard to like get perfectly clean, and so those end up being threat vectors for like foodborne illness from meat. But wood, because it has some like sort of both self-healing properties and I guess some like faint antiseptic properties, you're better off having that being your dedicated meat cutting board because it isn't prone to doing that.
That makes sense.
But I think honestly the biggest thing about having a dedicated meat cutting board of any type is that it's a dedicated meat cutting board, and you never have the mistake that gets people where it's like, was meat used on this? And you don't know.
Yeah.
If that thing is out, it's only used for the meat.
Yep.
I was learning, apparently, morels used to be much more common because one of the things they really love is dying elm trees. And so in like the 70s, 80s, when Dutch elm was like just laying waste to the elms across the country, suddenly you had like all these morels popping up in these unexpected places, and it was like, damn, like what a golden era, a golden age of morel mushroom hunting. But this is the like, man, mushrooms are so weird and fascinating because like we talked a little bit about this last year on the HOA, but it really does feel like it is following like witchcraft logic of, you know, on when the full moon is high and beneath the boughs of the dying of like the dying spruce, this mushroom will appear. And it's like, and then no other circumstances will you see this thing. It is so fucking weird how, like, you know, plants, you put plant in dirt, if the conditions are favorable, you're gonna get the plant out, right, in some way, shape, or form. Mushrooms, it's like, no, we had a really long checklist of, like, conditions that have to be met. And then
maybe
I'll only show up, yeah, maybe.
Hell yeah, snorkel cleaned.
In front of it, saying you spent that much time in front of a toilet is concerning, Patrick. Sounds like somebody hasn't gotten drunk enough and been sick on the floor of the bathroom enough. When you're not feeling well, you're not on the toilet. You're in front of it. You're beneath it. You're beside it.
Well, the thing about my stomach in relation to drinking, when that canon has happened, most notably in my past, it always happens the next day. So for a lot of people, like, being hungover is when they say hair of the dog, like just have a little bit of, just drink a little bit and just sort of solve the problem by doing what you did before.
Continuing to be drunk. Yeah.
It doesn't work for me because it's not a head thing or even like a body thing. It's a stomach thing. Like I have the equivalent of a horrible stomach ache during most hangovers, in which you are maybe like some stomach medication can provide some temporary relief before you ultimately get past it. But like the stomach acids in my stomach are like so gnarly that when you are besieged in such a way, there are only a few paths out of it, unfortunately. So no, I've never gotten sick on the floor of a bathroom. Not to my recollection, I suppose. I'd have to.
Feels
check.
like there's a testimony to before Congress. Well,
Not
that
to
was
my
basically
knowledge,
the Kavanaugh hearings, to be honest.
Not to my knowledge, sir, Senator.
I am a little taken aback, though, Patrick, by the rate at which I am just turning into a suburban, like, yard dad, though.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't want to mow this. I don't want to take care of this place. Like, have landscapers come do it. And now I'm like, look at me bringing forth life in the ecosystem, tending this garden.
Yeah, well, I think it's how I explained it to you. As you either bought the house or were settling in it, and you were talking like, well, I think we're just going to do this. I'm like, well, maybe. You can't. I think more likely is you'll figure out what you want to do. Like there are some parts about sort of like tending and maintenance, like anything else, that is, it's laborious, but in a laborious way that you enjoy, or find satisfying. And sometimes the tool helps, and sometimes, I don't know, it's just like nice to have an excuse to be outside.
Yeah, I think that's the big one, is like, it turns out if I'm not doing lawn work, I'm not going to be out as much as I otherwise would be. But I spent like all of Sunday outside, and it turns out, hey, you heard about this fresh air and exercise? Folks, you tried it? Turns out they're not lying. I hate it.
Yeah, like I love mowing the lawn. Like it's one of my favorite things to do. Like I enjoy being out there for 40 minutes. I'm annoyed the last 2 days that I've had kid-related things that have prevented me from going out to do it. But what I just, combination of my herniated disc and just I didn't like losing an entire day to it. But like putting out mulch. We have a ton of mulch that has to put out. It's a pain in the butt to, wheelbarrow out to the various parts of the lawn and shovel on. It's not hard, but it just takes a long time. And when I have landscapers come out to, trim the trees and, do that sort of work that I can't do on my own, turns out like, you know what? Just tack on. Just do the mulching. Like, just do it. Turns out I don't want to do it anymore. I did it for 8 years. Those are my cost savings by not paying for it for 8 years. Oh yeah, clean that dome.
There's only one thing went wrong when I was mowing.
Okay.
And it kind of haunts me.
Sure.
A bee landed on a dandelion just as I went over the dandelion.
Sure.
Like it was it landed and just went straight under, and now I'm like,
wow.
Maybe it was okay. Maybe it got out.
Mm-hmm. Probably not.
But
though.
I feel like it probably didn't, and I'm like super pissed about it. you delay your first mow for weeks because you've heard it's good for the pollinators to have more access to the flowers and shit, and then you mow and immediately kill a pollinator. Great.
Yeah, I've heard people like the argument is to try and wait until like at least Mother's Day or thereabouts or Memorial Day before you get at it. But man, lawn gets. I couldn't wait that long.
Yeah, we see. I think I like a long lawn. In part, I think my dad always let the lawn grow out a bit more, and I felt like it was more resilient to like sunlight and such. Like it stayed greener and healthier through the year. So we definitely like let it grow out a bit, and we got is it lavender? That's the one that's really close lying to the ground. Lilac is the bush, right? Lavender is almost like a clover type, like ground cover. Yes. We got a ton of that that grew in. It was gorgeous, and it was ridiculous. It was like, wow, there's bees everywhere, just all jacked up and on that pollen. That's what the biologists say. It's like bees love to get jacked up on pollen.
Well, I believe it. If you're, a bee person selling it to a TikTok audience, then you got to change your language. Bees love to get jacked up.
Violets is the ones that are close to the ground.
Ah. Hell yeah, rotor blade cleaned. This copter's not so dirty anymore. Looking pretty good. Someone's got to get that cat taken care of, though. Maybe eventually that'll be us.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever learn the mystery of the cat.
That seems to be sort of central to the storyline at the moment. Seems to be one of the core... with whatever's going on here.
Oh, this is mad satisfying. Oh, yes.
Ding. That ding every single time. Oh. Extremely good.
So, you watch the NBA playoffs?
On and off. Less of this round. I watched more of the first round than I did of this round for various reasons. Also, like a lot of sweeps this round, right? Like Lakers, Lakers swept, Knicks, 76ers swept.
It's weird. I'm becoming, I don't know if I'm becoming a Timberwolves fan, but I feel like every year they are they have really interesting series. Like the Timberwolves are a good time, whatever happens, and so that's happening again this year. And this Spurs series has been tremendous. Patrick, I spend most of the regular season watching a shitty basketball team, right? So I sort of lose track of what is actually good or what's happening out there. Then I would see games with Wemby, and I would but he wasn't doing anything. I missed a lot of the games that iconic Wembanyama is gonna just go nuts out there.
Well, his first year he was very raw. If you knew ball. It's he's going to be one of the best. But it's kind of hard to see. It's wow, he's got a really fucking weird body type. Like I've never seen something like that on the court. He's like a stretched out Kevin Durant sort of look. And then last year he was rounding into form, but then got injured and missed like the last third of the season. And then this year has sort of been the Wemby that everyone was predicting kind of all along. And I didn't watch the game, but I did enjoy his fucking elbow whip that got him ejected. He didn't get suspended, right? Did they announce that?
I thought he just got ejected.
Okay.
They didn't suspend him, did they?
I don't think so. I think I would have seen something today if that had.
Yeah,
if
that seems like it would have been big. But no, this has been the series where I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of ridiculous to see. Where it is like, oh, did his teammates miss a shot? Doesn't matter. He will just place it in. He'll just place it in the cylinder. It doesn't matter. The other thing is like I keep doing these double takes of like, where did he come from? Because it's like he wasn't in that play, and yet there he is at the end of it, sort of in the middle of everything, and it's like, oh yeah, he can just close distance so absurdly. It's kind of mesmerizing to watch, really.
There's no one else like him. It feels almost cheat code-ish, like what he's able to accomplish.
Exactly.
Because of his body.
Any other sport where they would nerf this. They'd be like, you got to put out a balance. Like this isn't right. We can't. Like it's like getting rid of the shift in baseball or something, right? Where it's like, you can't let them do this. And it's like, well, he's just big,
right? Like what are you supposed to do about it? But it makes like some of the strategy with the Timberwolves interesting because what are you just going to do? Avoid shooting on him? And the Timberwolves have essentially decided, well, no, like fortune favors the bold. You just have to try and, with some of these players, part of what the strategy with a guy like that is wear him out. Like you just have to. It's a game of attrition. Like push on him. Like even Jokic gets tired, but like if you avoid the Colossus, eventually they'll just consume you. And you just have to kind of press on them and then hope it's a combination of luck and, the fact that basketball is just an exhausting sprint sport.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually you'll get enough. Or he gets ejected. They lose that game because he got ejected.
Yep.
I mean, the game came down to a bucket.
The first game, it was kind of weird because it was a really close ending. And he kind of deferred to his teammates. He did not take the final shot. He didn't really manage the last possession. And it was like, oh, that was it feels like they could have won this, but they kind of just whiffed on that final seconds. And the next two games was like the Wemby show of all right, well, that's the last time I don't just seize control of this. And it was berserk. And the thing's been I think it was game 3. I was watching it, or it might have been game 4. I can't remember, but it felt like it was done. Like the series was maybe just over because the Wolves look like they're getting rocked so hard by him, and then they came battling back. They're kind of an impressive team with the sheer amount of never say die.
Well, we never say die, Rob, but I need to leave to go pick up a child to go to swim practice.
Oh no.
I know. We're so close, 90% of the way there, but I do have to go. But this has been fun. We're going to try and do more of these. I really enjoyed kind of just shooting the shit, power washing. Rob and I really wanted to see what people had to say, where this story goes. So I think, especially as we've done fewer regular sports episodes, I think we've talked about it'd be fun to have this or playing sports games. Fuck, nailed it. That felt so good. Where we're doing stuff like this. And if for some reason you only caught part of this, I mean, genuinely, I'm pretty sure we could output 95% of the stream into Remap Detours because we just it's that kind of stream. So we're going to try and streams like this will also turn into podcasts eventually as we flip around episodes of Remap Detours. So that's going to do it for Rob and I. Thank you for your patience as we got the audio levels up and running at the beginning. But seems to have mostly worked out. Way to go, Comcast. You did it. I appreciate your help today. As Rob never says die, getting the last little bits of this percentage before we have to go. But thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be back later this week. I think Rob is checking in with somebody to see if there's some availability later this week. If not, we'll have something else that happens this week. So just stay tuned.
Maybe I'll just play Ruse, the game re-release in 2026.
That is definitely might be on the table. So thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be back later this week with plenty more remap. Bye.